It is a beautiful Monday morning. We've done some little bit of schoolwork. We've had our breakfast, and I'm going into the garden. So I thought I'd bring you with me because things have been growing quite a bit since the last time I brought you in here. I've moved some of my tomato plants outside because, as you can see, they are probably 2.5 feet tall and they no longer fit under my lights. So these have come out. These are all paste tomatoes. Still in the greenhouse though, we have quite a few. I have one light system that was hung in such a way that lets me raise it up as high as I need. These we had put on shelves, which is really nice, but also limits me. And you can see these guys are going to have to come out pretty soon because they're starting to hit the top of the lights. But everything is growing so well. I'm really pleased. Look at these pepper plants, healthy and strong. These are all different kinds of tomatoes. These were planted a little later. That's why they're smaller. Same with the peppers. I have 2 plantings, an earlier and then a later planting. The boys wanted to try sprouting some avocado kits, so we have those down there. And then most of these, again, I planted mostly paste tomatoes, but there's a few exceptions. You can see the brandywines have very different kind of leaves. You can always tell a brandywine from any other type of tomato because this is more of your classic tomato, and then the brandywine leaves are these large, wide, flat leaves. Here's another one here. So I had aphids on my tomato plants. I don't know, maybe it's been a month ago. I got aphids on the tomato plants. Aphids come when a plant is under stress, when something is making that plant unhappy. So I did not do anything to treat the aphids. You know, you can try spraying neem oil on them or make your own kind of dish soap concoction. I didn't do any of that. I tried to figure out, why is this plant not happy? And I found 2 things. I think they were being watered too much at that point, so the soil was a little too wet. And also, I had not put my lights on a timer, and because when they were first small, I was just letting them go all day and night, and I never got it out of my head that you need to turn these lights off. You know, I just was busy with other things and not paying attention that the lights were on all the time, and I think it was stressing the plant out. So I got the lights off all night long, and I'm only watering every few days, and all the aphids are gone. They just disappeared on their own once the problem was fixed. I really appreciate that about aphids because they're telling you there's a problem. They're kind of like a gauge. These are blackberry starts that I dug out of the garden, and I'm going to be bringing them tomorrow to my Azure drop pickup to sell. I did this last year. I sold them for $3 for a blackberry plant, and I sold out. People were really happy to have them. They're a great line of blackberries. They're thornless, and they produce like crazy. If you've seen my old videos from past years, you know. They're big producers. So when I transplanted my tomatoes into larger pots, I used real garden soil. So one thing that I'm doing this morning is weeding my pots. It doesn't seem like you should have to weed indoors, but there we go. Just pulling up all those little weeds and making sure that the only roots competing for space down there are my tomato roots. You can see this here. This is rabbit poop, little rabbit pellets, because that is the secret to amazing greenhouse plants or any plants. It is the best manure. It's worth having a rabbit just for collecting manure. You can just literally just throw it right on your plants. It's incredible. I did a few transplants this past week. I put this up so the toddler wouldn't step on them, but I put my calendulas in the ground. So this whole row is calendulas. I did that last year, and it was so wonderful to walk down this path and have calendula flowers there. I also put out about 1/3 of my basil plants in this little patch right here. And then over here, we have onions. So I planted out, I didn't count them all, but I'm thinking it's about 275. Was kind of my estimate, about 275. So those, it's been a week since I planted those, and they are doing really well. Just look very, very happy. So today, the first priority is actually transplanting these cabbages, because if you remember, I've always planted my cabbage seeds just in a cluster early on so that I can cover them up with a plastic box like that, and it's a mini greenhouse. So they are way past the point that I should have transplanted them out. Way. They've got bugs eating them. I need to get them under netting, and they're huge. I just have not had a chance. And I did not have a very good cabbage germination. This was my second planting. Let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, wow. This one's completely munched down. That's a problem. I don't know. Maybe 25-ish. We'll count better whenever I get them in the ground, but look at that. Oh, that makes me mad. Somebody's been munching on these. I was actually so convinced that I was not going to get any cabbage crop at all that I just thought, well, I'll buy cabbages from Azure Standard to make sauerkraut and just forget it, because it just went that badly for me this year, which is crazy. I usually have good success, but year to year, things are different. Who knows? Maybe it was my seeds. Maybe it was the soil, the timing. I don't know. Look at this potato plant. That is not where it goes. I'm just going to have to pull it up because I don't want it to interfere with those little onions. Sorry, little potato. These are various salad greens. Again, I had planted early a salad mix, and we put it under another tote. We've been eating off these, but you can see they're now going to seed. Now that it's warming up. They were really tasty. I have a lot of early things going to seed. My spinach is going to seed. Now, what I'm going to do, this spinach is honestly probably about done. You can see it's bolting like crazy. So I think what I'll probably do is pick the young tender leaves to bring in the house. And I'm going to leave one of these to go to seed because I do want to collect the seeds. But then the rest we're going to have to probably just get rid of and replant because they're starting to interfere with the garlic that's here and these little onions that I got in the ground. I planted around these knowing that this was a crop that would have to leave by the time these things started getting big. So that's going to have to happen. This black plastic I'm starting to pull up today. It's a weed barrier that I had put there, just like this one, to kill weeds so that I could then plant. And it looks like it did its job. So I'm going to pull that up, and I think I'm going to put the cabbages right along there. This is my path here, which I have my boys home today, so I'm going to have them mulch this for me. So this is the path. And whenever I plant cabbages or onions or garlic, things that just sit for months, I like to plant them on the inside of the big plot so that we're not pushing past them to harvest things like lettuce and green beans that you get to on a regular basis. So those types of things are going to go right here. And then in the middle, we'll plant the cabbages next to these garlics. Look at that! This blackberry start is huge. Look at that. I think I'm going to give that one as a special gift to my friend Molly. She's wanting to start blackberry, so she's going to get that thing. That is huge. This is my blackberry trellis number 1. Another one is over on that far side. And every year the kids look at it and they get worried and they say, are we going to have blackberries this year? Because it looks kind of sparse at first. I always remind them, it grows like crazy. Once it gets going, we don't have to worry. We will have blackberries. These, over here on this side, this kale is also going to seed. I only need one plant to go to seed because it produces so much. And so what I generally do is I'll pick one like this one. I'll leave this one here to go to seed. And then everything else, I'm going to go through and I'm going to break this off and feed it to an animal. Because if I keep doing this, it will help me keep the plants a little longer. Otherwise, if I just let them all bolt, they're going to get really bitter and yucky. So that's my plan. Plus, this is just big. I'm going to pick a bunch of this and feed it to the dairy cows. They mostly get our kale, honestly. I prefer the flavor of chard. It's just a little bit milder. So, whoop. Same thing here. Let's get rid of those seeds. We're not ready for seeds yet. We want you to last a lot longer. Now the green onions I'm letting go to seed just because I think they're so pretty. I like looking at them. So I'll pick those tiny new shoots for eating, and then the rest I'll just let be for them right here in the garden. Lettuce is looking good here, and I have a second crop coming up. This is so interesting. So you can see the different kinds of lettuce, and I'm a very forgetful gardener because I will grab packets of seeds and throw them in the ground and not remember what I planted, and then I have to try to figure it out. So this looks like a variety that has a bit of red in it. This looks like that black-seeded Simpson. It's got that light-colored curly look to it. And then here, these look like carrots. I planted carrots and gave up on them because they never came up. But look at that in the row. That's amazing. Amazing. You just never know with gardening. It's such a fun surprise. Over here where we transplanted those chamomiles, do you remember that in a recent video? Look how big they're getting, and they have little buds, so we're going to be having some chamomile flowers here pretty soon. It's huge. Also, here in my absolute weed-stricken land, so why do I have so many weeds? Because I have not kept up with my ground cover. The ground has to be covered with something or it's going to cover itself. So I like putting down mulch, a layer of paper, and then mulch because it will suppress all these weeds. It's happy if it's covered. So because this ground was not happy, it felt bare, it made its own ground cover. Now, there's good and bad to that. We did put this down just so we could get these weeds quickly suppressed, but we didn't put it all the way across because guess what is growing among these weeds that we don't want here? Zinnias. Lots and lots of zinnias. And this is how I get my beautiful plot of zinnias every year, is by collecting all of the volunteers and moving them to where I want them. So if we killed all of these weeds, we would be losing our future zinnia crop too. And chocolate sunflowers. Actually, all the way down here I saw chocolate sunflowers. So we're gonna have to endure those just a little bit longer. Look at this. That's why this plastic stuff abruptly stops right here, because we realized that we had a patch of chocolate sunflowers amongst these other weeds that we need to dig up and move because we don't want to lose those. We are taking a little walk up to see how the new piglets are doing. Oh, yep, we have a mama hen in here sitting on some eggs. We like to put them in their own little nest so they are left alone. Nobody else can bother them. Oh, look, the new babies are out. These piglets were born maybe a week ago, and they're just starting to get active. And oh, they are so cute. Rose doesn't really like us to hold them. She gets upset, so we can't really snuggle, but they're pretty cute. It's amazing how much these pigs act like dogs. They are so dog-like. They wag their little tails, they scratch their ears and just lay in a pile. They just look like cute little puppies.
Bad eggs, rotten eggs, dirty eggs with shells.
Come here, you don't have shoes on.
Mama, let's do. Mama, look.
Eggs in there? Here's eggs. There you go. Where's the basket?
Over there.
Who's got the basket?
Pee-wee Benjamin. I did it. Mama.
Is there an egg under there?
Curtain. Yep.
No.
Yep.
Oh, there is.
I found an egg. Nope.
Oh, there's a bunch over there on the other side. This is incredible. Leo just 3D printed me a new, what do you call it?
I don't know, shower, hose
Sprayer.
end, whatever you pick.
My spraying thing broke recently. And
This only took about like two hours to make, and then it's standard 1/2-inch hose. So if you can see in there, I put a seal in there. You can buy a pack of like hose seals or whatever. Really simple. You can pull it out of something else too.
So excited. James, turn the hose on so we can see this thing in action. because whenever I was watering the plants, it was just blasting them. Look at that! He made that on a 3D printer. This is incredible.
Yep, works pretty good.
Now we need to see your printer because I keep getting requests of what this thing
off,
is.
James. I also made this, whoops, which is basically same. You put a seal in there so it doesn't leak, but it hooks on the edge of your trough, pool, whatever you're filling, and that way the hose doesn't fall out. It's pretty.
That is really
Pretty
genius
nifty.
because right now when we fill a tank like that cow tank over there, you're trying to drape the hose over it so it
Right.
doesn't fall out. So I've told you guys before, in the back of our well house, we gave Leo a little corner for the 3D printer. What kind is it?
So I did a little bit of research whenever my 12-year-old 3D printer went out, and as much fun as I had using that, this is way better. This is a Bamboo Labs A1 Mini. If you know anything about Bamboo Labs, you know they provide premium quality printers, and usually with a premium price. So recently they came out with this one, which is really affordable. I got this on Black Friday for $200 free shipping. So that's like a really good deal. You're getting extremely good quality prints. It's kind of a plug and play, so you're not like people who know anything about 3D printing, like the Ender, which is Creality's printer. That was a really popular one because it's really cheap. You get it for about 90 bucks on Black Friday deal. But you would have to do a lot of customization, a lot of modifying to get it to print really good. Out the box, this prints as good as their big printers. They're like $5,000 printers, but the one limitation, or one of the limitations, is that the size of the build plate. So I can do this right here is a trash can that I made for my
Cool.
3D print waste, and this is the max size that this printer can do, width and height. So this is a perfect representation of what it can do. It's really simple. You have this metal. You can get different types. It's a flex build plate. This is their textured PEI build plate, but you can get all kinds of different patterns and textures and stuff, but that's the one that comes with it.
You know, a question that when I was telling somebody recently about this is they thought that it was really expensive to print something.
No.
So what about this thing right here?
I'm printing. You can see that I have anybody who has an A1 Mini or A1, and they say, what is going on here? So I printed this right here. It's a handle, and it has two extra spools. So I can hold up to 3 spools on my machine. This is all printed on it. This is printed on it. This track is printed. So I printed a lot of stuff. This build blade cleaner I printed. But price-wise, you're getting these filament rolls. I prefer Sunlu for branding because they have good quality filament and they're a lot cheaper. Not a lot, but they're cheaper than Bamboo Labs filament. Sure, if you're using the brand filament that your printer is, it's gonna be calibrated to that. You're gonna have the best results. But this prints perfectly fine. It's about $20 for a roll. You can get it cheaper if you buy a 4-pack like I have here. This is a huge box. This is a 4-pack. That was about $60, $70, something like that.
So he has a money jar here because whenever the boys want to print things, they'll just put the money in there. So how much do they pay?
Okay, so the way that I calculate the price is about 1 gram. You double that, and that's how many cents it is. So 80 grams, that's going to be whatever, 160 cents.
So $1.60 for this.
Yeah. So honestly, it's pretty cheap. It's not if you're printing a lot, doing a lot of large prints, you are going to blow through it, and it is on the more expensive side of like kid hobbies. But if you're not printing ridiculous amounts and you get the A1 Mini, you're probably gonna be okay. It's really intuitive. They make it really easy, really affordable. If anything breaks on this, I've had stuff go pretty wrong on it, but if anything breaks, they sell pretty much any part to rebuild the entire thing for really cheap. Like an LCD screen, full color touchscreen. It's like 20 bucks or something on their website. And if you get above $100, it's free shipping, which isn't bad. But all around a really good printer, really good company.
Several of you have asked about that, so there it is. There it is.
Yep, full rundown.
Here's another thing we have in here, Samuel.
This is rock tumbler.
Rock tumbler. Is it time to peek inside or not?
A couple more days.
Oh, okay. We gotta turn it back on. We turned it off so that they could hear us. It runs and runs and runs.
A couple more days. He bumps up to 7 days.
I just also noticed I have a bunch of bananas up here. I didn't remember we stuck those in there, but I am so glad I came in here with you. Louie,
Hey.
look what I just found.
Louie, can you say banana? Whoa. I don't want to get in his way.
Banana.
You're so smart, Lou.
He is actually opening it. Look at that. Well, it's a new day. Jason and I ended up going out to meet with some friends last night, and I just quit filming. But we are loaded up in our bus, and we're getting ready to go to our Azure Standard drop. And we are bringing plants to sell. So I told you guys yesterday about this. Here's what we came up with. This is all black-eyed Susans and oregano. There's thyme, yarrow, and lots of those blackberry bushes. So we're selling these all for $3 a piece. That's our going price for everything. Oh, did you grab the salve or did I grab the salve? Yes, we got it. I also have my salve to sell, which I know many of you had told me you wanted to buy salve, and I never put it for sale because I'll just chat with you while I wait for kids, but it was the shipping. The shipping is killing me. I went to the post office and they said the minimum to ship those tins is $7. So even if you buy, so my 1 ounces I sell for $5, but you're gonna have to pay $7 shipping. I don't know. I just felt bad because that seemed expensive to me. I guess if somebody wanted to buy a lot, then it would be worth $7 shipping, because it seemed like what the post office worker was telling me is that it's $7, like whether I send a little box of 5 of them or 1, it's $7. So anywho, that's where we're at with that. We're unloading stuff and we're gonna take it over there. You can see lots of people bring tables. Our drop coordinator really encourages this, and so people will bring their tables and sell their stuff. It's pretty fun. Look at you, muscle man. Tuckered out. I think everybody is. I've been ordering from Azure for probably 15 years. I think it was when Silas was a baby, and I have never been at a drop that took as long as today's drop did. I don't know what exactly happened, but it was very, very long. I did sell over $100 worth of plants though, and I sold salve, so that was really wonderful. And then we went by Buckeyes afterwards and got food for Samuel's quail. Hi, James. You need a haircut? You're saying you need a haircut? Come show him this hair. You're not even going to show it? It's so bad? Oh, wow. Got some long hair. Okay, I'll put you on my list. So we got home and... You're right. Got home and ate some food to hold us over. I did not expect we would be gone this long, so I didn't have lunch or anything ready. So we had, of course, apples at Azure, and then we had like some milkshakey kind of stuff when we got home. I actually bought, the woman who was next to us selling some things was selling her own mushroom powder. What do they call it? Adaptogen mushroom powder that she makes herself. I've never tried this before, but I bought a jar from her. So I just had some in a cup of coffee. So am I supposed to feel amazing here pretty soon? We'll see. So now I have a midday lunch dinner thing. I don't know what time is it. It's 3 o'clock. This has been the whole day. But in the Instant Pot I have 2 Instant Pots. One full of eggs for hard-boiled eggs and one full of potatoes. We're gonna do a potato egg salad thing. And then I'm going to, the rest of the plants that I did not sell, I'm going to plant in the ground because they don't love living in those little cups very long. You know, it's not like they can stay till the next time I see somebody. So I'm going to plant them, and let me show you what I'm thinking. Elsie brought Pepper along, and he is absolutely tired out. I don't know. So what Bella and I are thinking is that in our front here, these grasses survived whenever they survived the winter. So I guess I need to trim the tops so the new grasses can grow up. But I'm thinking I just want herbs and some flowers here instead of some kind of landscaping that you can't do anything with. I just want herbs and flowers because it's right out the kitchen door. so I could come right here and pick the oregano or whatever it is. This is what we didn't sell.
Oops. Yikes.
That's it. We sold all the blackberries right away. Yarrow's gone. Have requests for more, and then sold a lot of the herbs, but that's left. So I'm thinking let's just kind of cluster them together and make some big plantings here. Put in some of those black-eyed Susans.
We'd use these for the things that we'd buy, like if we were to buy a fern or something, then they could just stick them in there, right?
No, I tried to overwinter my ferns and they didn't make it. They died.
Oh, Mom, there's a bunch of big ferns in the woods when I was doing fencing down there.
They may or may not
I mean, they're
work
not
here.
like huge, like
Yeah.
glouses.
We could try. Or put them in a basket and hang them on the porch, because that's where I had my other ferns last year and I really like them.
Yeah, we could.
Then this big tub, which is just some weeds and grass right now. What did we say we're going to do with the black-eyed Susans in here?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the plan. We really should be doing other things, but this is more fun.
We have a lot of other things
There's
to do.
a lot of things to do.
Things that are very pressing.
But, oh, Bella, look. It's an
So we
Easter
must
egg
have
they missed. Oh, that's funny. That's the second one today. We let the cows out. Bella opened up so they could just come out here and graze because we have all the spring grass. And James said while Maybelle was walking along, somehow she kicked an egg out of hiding. So this is the second one now. We got everything planted. This is some echinacea that I had actually traded a lady for. Traded some of my herbs for hers. So I've got those two and these. That's okay, Vinny. And then black-eyed Susans in here, thyme here, oregano in the ground. So we''s see how everything does. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be really pretty when it's all grown and full. I think it's going to be so pretty. That's okay, we can throw it in the car.
Yeah, because the echinacea and the black-eyed Susans are going to get
It's going to be beautiful. Yeah.